back to my channel. My name is Leslie if you're new here. Today I wanted to share a story time video. I am having some tea. It is Sunday night and I thought it would be the perfect time to just open up to you guys and talk to you guys. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. That way you don't miss out on any of my videos. Also, don't forget to hit that like button as well. It really helps out my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time on something I went through 2 years ago. I got in a car accident with an 18-wheeler and it was pretty intense. I want to say I feel like I don't validate my own emotions sometimes, and I kind of try to like downplay how I feel and like downplay what I'm going through, so it's not as, you know, as hard as it sounds. So let me paint the picture for you guys. It was February 1st, 2018, and it was in the evening time. So in this point of my life, I had already been freelancing for a while. I had quit my full-time job to do freelancing and it was going good. But I felt like I wanted to do something else to bring in a little extra income. So I decided to go enroll in my local college and go take a lash course. But to take this class, you guys, it was really expensive. So I had saved money and I had used some of our savings to take this class. Now, second, also, the car I was driving was one of my dream cars. It was a Toyota Camry and it was black. I used to call it my Raven, and I really loved my car so much. And my goal was to finish paying it off, which we were so close to paying it off and just, you know, going to college, finishing that up, and, you know, have no bills, not having to pay a car or anything like that. I loved my car, and like I said, I was hoping on keeping it for a while until, you know, basically we got on our feet. And so here's this day, February 1st, and I decide to go to class. And my classes were at night, so I would have to leave my house around like 4:30. And around this time in my life, my husband also was working nights. I would usually be asleep by the time I would leave for school. So that day, you know, we just were not in a good place. You know, it's just one of those days where we're just like irritable with each other. And I just remember that day, I was like, whatever, I'm leaving the school. Like, I'm not even gonna tell him good night or whatever, bye. Like, he can just go to bed. I'm gonna go and forget about everything today and just drive and go to school. So I'm driving, chilling, you know. This tea's so good. I'm driving, chilling on I-10, and I start going towards the right of the freeway to get off onto the ramp that's gonna take me to the Beltway. So keep in mind, guys, like, I've been around 18-wheelers my whole life. Like, I want to say since I was in 5th grade, my dad started driving 18-wheelers. And, you know, also my husband is a truck driver, but growing up, my dad was very into teaching us to respect 18-wheelers, because he would always tell me, like, no matter how fast you think you can drive and how much you can control your car, they're carrying more weight than you, so if you cut them off, they can't stop as fast as you think that a car can stop. I'm driving and I was looking in my rearview mirror and I kept seeing this big 18-wheeler truck, a white one, and I felt like it was kind of like on my tail a little bit, but I was like, okay, whatever, like, I'm about to move over to the next lane, so let me just get out of this dude's way, you know? So I like go over, I merge over to the next lane. I remember like putting my hand on the steering wheel and like kind of like chilling back like this, when I hear just like, I heard a big hit and I was like, what is that? But by the time like I turned to look, my car is swinging this way. Like, my car fishtailed and went that way. Like, he clipped my bumper from the back. Hold on, let me put my tea down so I can explain this. So I'm like driving, right? And I hear I feel something, and I fly forward, and I fly forward, and he hits my car, right? He clips my car, so I stay on there, and my car is like going like this, and then it just goes like that. And by the time it goes like this, he's still driving, and then he slams into me. So at this point, I'm screaming, right? Because I just went all around and I got smashed into his grill. And his grill, like, literally was, I was so afraid that I thought he was gonna come into the car that I immediately went like this, like really hard. I went, whoa, really was trying to just get away from the door as much as possible because he had smashed it. He just smashed into my car. He's gonna stop any moment now, right? No, the dude keeps driving. He keeps driving while he has me pinned onto his grill. And at this point, you guys, like, my mind was going through so many thoughts and so many emotions, but at the same time, I felt like the time was going so slow. Like, the first thought that went through my head was, okay, this is how you die. This is, this is the point. And like, when people are dying or they're about to die, like that okay, this is how Leslie goes, And I was just like, wow, I can't believe like the irony. But then I started thinking, okay, like, I'm still alive. Like, I was waiting for like some big, I guess, hit that would like knock my head off or like knock me unconscious. And I kept thinking like, oh, you're still having thoughts. You're still, you're still here. Like, I felt like it was an out of body experience. And as this is happening, like, as these thoughts are like going through my head, like, I started thinking about my family. I started thinking about my mom, because what was crazy, you guys, is that where he hit me was actually on the exit of where my parents live. Like, the exit I take off to where I used to live at, literally like right there. And I was just thinking, like, my guts and I'm probably gonna be splattered or squished into nothing right here on this exit, and my parents are always going to be reminded, like, this is where their daughter died, this is where their daughter got squished at, I didn't want them to have to like think about that. So that I was also thinking about that. But as this was happening, like, I thought he was gonna stop, because I was like, okay, I'm still here, I'm still alive. I started looking down at my legs, making sure like that they weren't like squished or pinned or anything. And he smashes me into another car, and when he does that, like, it's like he hit me another car here, so my car wrapped around his 18-wheeler. Like, it went around from his grill and smashed into his into his door. So I got hit again, and that time I kind of just flew this way again. And then at this point, I think people started like telling him to stop or something, because he finally stopped. And I just remember just being, like I said, in complete shock, and I just felt like really nauseous. I felt like I was just shaking, and like, again, I kept thinking like, okay, you're not dead, that's good, right? But then I tried, like, I since I was in the middle of the freeway, I was like, okay, I need to get like away from this area. I tried turning on my car and it wouldn't turn on. And then I tried opening the door and it wouldn't open. And like, honestly, I felt like I didn't know what to do. I feel like when those moments in life, like when you're still doing stuff like that, like when you're getting in accidents or like, big people problems, like I feel like I'm still a child. Like, I need to like call my parents and like have them help me or whatever. And let me take some more tea. Said, like, being in disbelief and shock and just like trying to just gather my thoughts, and I see this man starts running towards my car, and he's like, oh my god, are you okay? And I just remember looking at him and just nodding, like, up my eyes up and down. He's like, I'm calling the ambulance, like, it's gonna be okay, like, I'm gonna call the ambulance. Do you have somebody you need to call? And like, I just thought, oh my god, I need to call my husband. So I start calling him. And remember, I told you guys that he was usually asleep at that time because that was his nighttime, the times that he would have to go to sleep to go to work. So then he wasn't answering, and I started bawling, you guys, like just at that point just bawling my eyes out because I was like so emotional from like earlier that day that I told y'all like I wasn't feeling right, I wasn't in a good place, and then I know that we weren't in a good place, and then that happened and I was just like crying, like bawling my eyes out, and he wasn't answering. And then I knew I had to call like my dad or my brothers, and so I called my dad and like he answered, and when I told him like I had gotten in an accident with an 18-wheeler, like you guys, it was so hard because like I said, I don't know, it was just very hard. I was crying and my dad started crying, and him and my brother were actually like really, they were nearby at a Home Depot like across the street, and they had seen that there was an accident and like all these, you know, all this traffic had built up, and they didn't know that it was because of me. I get out of the car and the 18-wheel driver, like his eyes are bloodshot red, you guys, like bloodshot red. I know that this dude fell asleep while driving, like I could just see it. And he starts telling me like, at first when he first saw me, he was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you, I'm so sorry, are you okay? And like, you know, please, like let's work this out. Like basically he was already like trying to tell me like don't call my job, you know. And at this point, thank god, like my dad and my brother had came, and they had, like I said, notified my husband, so I knew he was on his way. And I was just crying, and my car, I'll insert pictures of my car here. My car was totaled, like it was not in driving condition anymore, like, and like I said, it just made me sad because I worked so hard for that car and my goal was to just pay it off. I started trying to walk, you guys, and my hip, my left hip is hurting so bad, and I'm just like, what the hell, like my hip hurts already. And then the moment that man saw my dad and my brother there, he changed up real quick. He started saying that I went into his lane and that I wasn't paying attention, and like he starts talking all this shit, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? You just told me over there that you know it's your fault, that you know you didn't see me. But he tried switching it up whenever the ambulance people came and the firefighters, and they had to like open my door and everything. Like he switched up real quick. So from that point on, I was like, fuck this dude, I need to record this whole thing that was happening right now. So I put on voice memo on my iPhone, and I was just recording our whole conversation. Like he wanted to talk to me away from my dad. So I'm like, all right, cool, what's up? But by this point, you guys, like, mind you, like, I'm a Scorpio, so we're all about control, like controlling our emotions, not letting our emotions run us. So at this point, I felt very scared. I felt very, just overall very emotional and just upset with everything that was happening, like looking at my car, looking at everything, you know. And I wanted to just break down and cry, but instead I was controlling that emotion and displaying anger. Like I was very angry, and when the man was like talking to me, I was just like, dude, you could have killed me. Like, do you understand that because of your fucking mistakes, because you're not paying attention, you could have ended my life? Like, what the hell, you know? Oh, I'm so sorry, like I don't know, I didn't see you, you know, I've been working so hard, and I just got so tired and I didn't see you. And then he starts saying how, like, you know, we can fix it and this and that, like he can fix my car, and like under the table, like we don't have to. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that shit, I don't want to hear it. I was like, give me your information. And then at this point, he starts cussing me out, he starts talking shit. My dad had to like tell him to get the hell away from me. And my husband finally shows up. It was so funny, you guys, like when I think about it, he showed up in like a t-shirt, basketball shorts, and his work boots, like like he just grabbed whatever he could find and I guess came. But he was, I don't even think he could talk to me. I don't even think we could talk to each other because I think he could tell how I was feeling. I think, I don't know, but thinking about it now makes me want to cry. Like those emotions that I felt. Oh, Pause. Makes me think about life, how fragile it is. Like, I think in that moment in time, like I said, guys, I was trying to get my shit together. I was trying to like better myself, and I started to tell myself, like, Leslie, this is why you need to take yourself serious, and why you need to live your life the way you want to, because from one day to the next you can be gone. And I wanted to enjoy my life, because I feel like before that I was in a very like dark place. Like, I've talked about it before, like when I was going through like my infertility situation, like I was at my heaviest. I was not happy. And even though I was doing things I loved, like makeup, freelancing, like it was still very stressful, like trying to prove a point to myself that I did the right choice by leaving something that was so safe, like having a Monday through Friday job. From that moment on, you guys, I really worked really hard on trying to take better care of myself. And that's when I started losing weight, when I started taking way better care of my body. Since that day, you guys, I really made it a point to start living my life the way I wanted to, and not being afraid of who it offends and who it hurts, because it's my life and it can get easily taken away from you from one day to the next. So I'm not trying to be on this earth to make, these people happy or those people happy. Like that situation I was in, how I almost died because of someone else's mistake, it really opened up my eyes on how I want to live my life, and it made me work harder. It made me push myself harder to get what I wanted, to get to where I want to be. So hence how I'm here, pushing myself harder on YouTube, because that's one of my goals. It's always been one of my goals, and I needed to embrace it. I started like looking online and like looking for lawyers, right? So I Googled like Houston lawyers, and I remember this one company come up, or this law firm, I'm not gonna mention it. They had so many reviews, like super all 5-star reviews, and it looked fancy AF. And I was like, you know what? This is the people I want to represent me. So I call them. Right away they tell me like, yes, you have a case, like we're gonna start working on your case, like we need you to sign this information, and I'm gonna record you, and we're gonna basically record everything that happened, and we'll start working on it. I was like, all right, awesome. Super professional, on point, getting me to sign everything. I'm thinking maybe everything's gonna be fine, right? So they start telling me, first you need to go get seen at the hospital, at a doctor's office. You need to get therapy, start on your therapy. So everything's going good. I had to constantly call to check in and like ask, like, hey dude, what's going on? What are the dates? Like what's going on here? And they're like, well, the guy is saying that you hit him, that you went into his lane. So he's completely denying everything that happened. And now that insurance is gonna try suing you. Like, I needed a vehicle to get to school, like, because we were down to one car. So my husband was like, you know what, let's use our savings and let's just go ahead and buy a cash car. That way I can get to work and back, and you can take our truck and like drive it to school, since it was such a far drive. And we knew we couldn't afford like a nice safe luxury vehicle. So we're like, okay, cool, like let's just buy whatever we can. I was happy with it, I still am, but I know it's not the safe vehicle to be driving. It's just a little cash car. And I think about that, because now that I have my son, like I wish that we could get another vehicle, but at this moment it's not something that we can do right now. But again, if that didn't happen and I wasn't in that car accident, you guys, I could have had my Camry, which would have been big enough for my son and me. But anyways, back to this law firm. So like I said, months go by, like 2 months, I'm constantly going to therapy. They wanted me to take physical therapy like 3 to 5 times a week. They said I went to get the therapy was so sketch. Like, I don't know. I felt like, yeah, he was good at like aligning my body and like popping me and everything. But I could tell he was just one of those doctors that like wanted to like milk the insurance, like I could just feel it. Like, so anyways, the worst pain that I had to deal with, you guys, I didn't have no broken bones, thank God. The only thing I've had to deal with to this day,
to this day
is my hip pain. I have hip pain where I got hit on that side. Ever since that accident, you guys, my hip has never been the same. It literally feels like my bones are rubbing together. Like, I can't explain the feeling. And working out and trying to squat, I see how weak my hip is, my leg, because I can't do like squats. I can't heavy lift because the pain is so extreme. The lawyer was like, you didn't break nothing. You didn't want to do the epidural. You don't want to go get narcotics. Like, you know, you having trauma and emotional trauma doesn't mean anything. Like, you're not going to get any money, basically. And the other thing was the struggle I felt driving, trying to drive. That was the one thing. Like, my dad told me and my mom, they're like, I know you're scared, but you need to make yourself drive right away. This happened the second week of school. Like, school had just started for me. And like I said, I paid that cash. I paid that. And I was like, I'm not about to just let this go down the drain. Like, I have to do it. Like, my husband can't be taking me to school. Like, he has to go to work. So I remember, I think I took 2 days off school. Driving to school, I was literally having such a bad anxiety attack. Like, when I tell you guys, like, I was shaking of fear. And like I said, I've been around 18-wheelers my whole life and I've never been afraid of them. And I remember like driving, and if I would just hear an 18-wheeler like passing by me, I would literally get so afraid that I would want to like swerve out the way. And that pain was just like in my mind, like emotionally, like it was just it had gotten bad. And like, I started telling my husband, like, I don't want to drive, I want you to drive. I can't tell you that I'm 100% over it, because I'm not. Like, I noticed myself, especially now that I have my son, when I'm driving, like, I try so hard to get away from 18-wheelers like all around me. But if they happen to like be beside me, like, I notice I like grab the steering wheel extra hard. That whole event with the lawyers, I want to say it took about a year, a full-on year, when they finally settled the case and everything. It was so sad, you guys, because we didn't get nothing. Like, honestly, like, we barely got enough to cover my vehicle and the little car, the cash car that we had to buy. And like I said, like, it sucked because I wasn't planning on using money or savings or anything to have to buy a new vehicle. Like, I was content with my Camry. So the lawyer was like literally a dick. Like, he was an a-hole, like trying to tell me like, get over it. Like, yeah, you had a bad accident. Yeah, it was traumatic. I'm sure what you went through was a lot, but you didn't die. I just remember, dude, at the end of it all, like when we had to go sign and like accept the settlement or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, so part of it, that when you sign for today's, check or whatever, we want you to give a review testimony on camera, like saying that we won your case and like you enjoyed having us, whatever, like as your lawyers. I'm not doing that. Like, y'all sucked ass. Like, y'all were not understanding. Yes, I understand that, I didn't die, I didn't break anything, but I feel like they could have done a better job with their customer service. And for sure, I was like, no, dude, fuck y'all. I am not gonna sit there on camera and get videotaped and said that y'all did amazing, because that's a fucking lie, and I'm not about to sit there and lie to these people. And then they said, well, you can at least, write us a review online on Google. And I thought about it. That's when it clicked. You guys, that is why these people had all these 5-star rating reviews, because they make people lie, and they force people into reviewing them. I can tell y'all, it really made me change how I viewed life. It made me change how I viewed myself and the love I was giving to myself. I'm still dealing with that trauma, and I don't talk about it a lot because it was hard. The next day, my best friend came over, and again, like, it was like without having to say like those words, like, I know she came to like check on me, and like I appreciated that so much. It's my story time on my accident, you guys, and it really did change me, and for the good. I want to say for the good. That's where I'm at now in life. We're trying to still get on our 2 feet, hoping one day, by us continuing to work and grind hard, I will be able to finally get another dream car of mine, a mommy car. And I seriously work my butt off every single day to achieve my goals. So I hope that this motivates you to do the same. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.